I have a new George update, but I want to start off with this comment. So George cannot properly adult. He doesn't know how to cook, clean, take care of his laundry, take his medications properly. And according to this woman and other women like her, it is everybody else's fault. She is blaming his parents, his ex-wife, and him, of course. They set him up for failure. And because he had all of this, he never bothered to learn. It's people like this that want to shift the blame. At least she bothered to give him some of it, but to shift his blame to the parents, and that's typically code for the mother and his ex-wife. It's not the spouse's responsibility to raise an adult man. It's not the spouse's responsibility. Stop giving women all of the responsibility to raise men. We don't get everything that we know as children. Some of the things that we get, we have to learn ourselves. And to say that these men are incapable of learning skills to adult and keep themselves together is to say that they don't have the capacity to learn. And if they don't have the capacity to learn, why do we give them the status of leadership? Simply because they are born male. Now, to this update of the Chronicles of George. This update is called George Gets a Home Health Aide. So I reached out to Miss Sassy. I'm like, it's been quiet. What's going on? She says, I was trying to see if I can get more. All I can say is the more I learn about George personally, the more I don't like him. Let's dive in a little bit deeper. So remember, George went to the hospital because he wasn't properly taking his medicine. He had diabetes, ketoacidosis, and he was drinking at the cookout. Keep in mind, like the first commenter, it's everybody else's fault to tell him how to stay alive because he's incapable of learning. So keep in mind that it's his parents, his ex-wife, and then partially his fault. Anyways, back to the story. He had a home health aide after he got out the hospital. Apparently, she was so creeped out by him, she didn't want to return. Young woman, early 20s immigrant. He did not actually harass her. He's not actually that stupid. However, if he could have and gotten away with it, I'm sure he would have. But he stared at her constantly, allegedly. Told her she was pretty or looked nice that day over and over again. Once is a compliment, more than that is gross. Allegedly, the final straw was when her shift was over and he offered to pay her personally, not through the agency, to stay for extra time. Ew. And then I was like, asking Miss Sassy, who told you all of this? She said, Mrs. M told me all of this. Mrs. M, if you remember, is the manager at the funeral home. So Mrs. M told Miss Sassy all of this, and he's denying all of it. He's claiming she's just a lazy young girl who didn't want to do any real work, just sit and watch TV or be on her phone. But he wasn't saying that until she got reassigned. Then the agency sent over an older, slightly overweight, married mother of 5. He didn't care for her. Big surprise. Oh, and Mrs. M, the office manager, told me former mistress is still texting George screenshots of their old text conversations saying, I never got rid of these. He tried to call her and reason with her, but she apparently just said, don't call me unless you've got some money or something crazy like that. He can't involve law enforcement because he's worried he'll get exposed that way. So he's stuck. That's all I know. I'm trying to find out more. Now, this piece with this mistress is going to come in play probably when the divorce proceedings come into play because the mistress is now trying to get money. She's already threatening to talk to Evelyn. And when I say that somebody needs to pick up this series, this drama, I'm sure you guys can envision it. Funeral home is the main backdrop of our drama. And then, we got the subsidiary little areas. We got the hospital. We got George's home. We got all of these characters. We need to create a name for the mistress. I haven't come up with a name for the mistress. And we have not created names for the 3 daughters. only one of the wives got a name, and that's Dee. So we have some work to do on our drama. You guys can go ahead and weigh in. This one, like I said, is called George Gets a Home Health Aide. You guys go ahead, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will bring you updates as I get them.